Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 3, day 4. Make sure I get that right so I don't confuse anybody. We're going to do something a little bit different today. And to start out this session, what I really want to do is just take a quiet moment with everybody to get in state. So we're going to let go of some energy. We're going to invite in some new energy. And we're all going to start from that base level before we go any farther today, okay? So whether you're watching this on a video or you're listening to this just through audio, I was going to say close your eyes. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. But if you're wherever you can, just close your eyes, okay? We're going to all do it together. Just listen to the sound of my voice. And we're really going to get ourselves into a state where we can receive the full message that's going to come through today on a visceral level, to really take it in, so that it's just not words going to the brain, it's actually going right into our soul, because today's message is going to be really important. Okay, so everybody close your eyes if you can. I want you to just take a few deep breaths in and then out. Do this a few times. Out your mouth if you want to. I find the mouth is better. Exhale. Just let go of whatever you've had going on before you got here. Give yourself permission to be here. Forget about the kids, the cooking, the food, dinner, work, family, arguments. I want you to put it all right in front of you on a little table. All of the shit that's been happening. Put it all right there in front of you. Like you could almost reach out and touch it. Then what I want you to do is picture yourself making a bubble around it. With your hands, actually make the motion. Make a complete 360 bubble all the way around. Put it all inside of the bubble. It's all in there, all of it. Nothing left on the outside. It's completely sealed. Everything's sealed in there. I want you to hold that bubble between your hands. Sit with it for a second. Still feeling the edges of the bubble. It's getting lighter. And I want you to picture your hands letting the bubble fly into the air. Away, off of your hands, carrying everything with it. Picture it in the sky. It's floating away from you. It's soft, gentle, it's light. The wind has no problem taking it. It's gone so far out you can barely even see it. It's just a little speck. None of it is attached to you anymore. Not in this moment. It's way out there. I want you to take another big breath in. Breath out. You are in this moment right now for you. I want you to get yourself into that state of receiving and that state of knowing that you are present in this moment and you are present and ready to receive every message and every feeling, every emotion that wants to come to you. When you're ready, open your eyes. Welcome. So now we're all here together. You let it all go. Be present. Allow yourself to absorb, okay? Today is going to be, we kind of switched it up a little bit. So we were going to keep going with the copywriting, which is our theme, which we've been on for the last couple of days. But as Caitlin and I were talking, we were noticing within the group, obviously, I'm sure you guys can see the comments as well too, that a lot of people are feeling behind, for lack of better words. That's the general feeling that we've been picking up on, okay? So I think that what's important right now is, instead of doing another training around copywriting today, we really need to take the time right now to figure out exactly what it is that we want, okay? So I want you guys to know that the message that comes after, anything that I say after this, is out of complete love. I definitely empathize. I know that life is busy, and this comes with compassion and hugs, okay? This is going to be a little bit of a slap. As my team, I usually call it, Trisha, I usually call it a Trishy slap. You know, you guys have heard, a lot of you guys have heard me say that before, okay? So the reason why I say that is because there's probably going to be some things that I'm going to say over the next 20 minutes that might trigger you, and you might have this feeling come up like you don't like it, you don't really want to hear it. You're going to feel your brain creating an excuse saying that I don't understand, or that your life is just crazier than other people's, or nobody understands where you are right now or your story. And that's okay. Don't resist that when it comes up, okay? Honor it, notice that it's there, and be very aware of which part of you is speaking, okay? So instead of getting defensive around anything, really allow yourself to see what that trigger is, because I can tell you this right now, your triggers, my triggers, our triggers are our best gifts. So if something is triggering you, it is a hint or a clue of something that deep down you really want to work on, okay? So write it down if you want to. Whatever triggers you, when you get flushed, when you get angry, when you get defensive, when you feel that's not true, or whatever comes up, write it down, what I said in that moment that made you trigger, okay? Because it's going to be important to come back to. So I want to start off by saying that we are extremely proud of everybody that's inside of here. Okay, everybody that's left inside of this group right now, we are extremely proud of you. Everyone has been doing an amazing job, whether you feel you're behind or not. Everyone has been doing an amazing job getting vulnerable and going deep and putting the effort in and trying to stay consistent and reaching out with inside of the group and sharing with others and allowing others to share and hold space for others to share, right? I also want to point out how many people are inside of the Rise community as a Facebook group, right? Our Rise Facebook group. I don't know the exact number. I'm almost positive it's around 1,300. Don't quote me on that, please. That's a wild guess. I'm pretty sure that's what it was in and around there last time I looked at it. And I want to say that out of every single person inside of that Rise Facebook group, we now have roughly 35 people inside of this chat right now, right? So huge congratulations to you guys for being here, for showing up, for deciding, for choosing to commit to your future and your goals and your dreams and your family and everything that you want to create. Because out of that large of a group, right here, we have the ones that are motivated, the go-getters. This right here is our batch of the next leaders, the up-and-coming leaders. I mean, you guys are already leaders. I'm not saying you're not leaders. Take that literally, it sounded bad. But I mean, in terms of people that are like hungry for it and want to grow and build and make the thing just pop off the top, right? That's you guys inside of here. And you should be extremely proud, right? That's amazing. We're almost done week 3. we're heading into week 4. We're almost a month through this, and you've stayed consistent and dedicated to your vision and to your dream, right? So huge congratulations to you guys. And I'm really, really excited. And I know Caitlin's really, really excited to see exactly what all comes out of this, right? Because it's in a supportive environment like this that we grow and that everybody thrives. So with that being said, I also want to say that with great leadership and great mentorship comes a responsibility, a certain amount of responsibility to hold other people accountable. Because more often than not, we will not hold ourselves accountable, myself included. That's why I was excited for this group as well too, is because I felt like I was struggling massively to keep myself accountable. And I knew that I would be accountable for other people. So with great mentorship, it means that these people are not going to sugarcoat it for you. And sometimes when you're taking it a little bit too easy on yourself, there needs to be somebody there to reflect that for you and to sell the dream back to you, right? About why you're here in the first place. Because the thing is that this is going to take work, right? We've talked about it inside of the chats. Whatever we put into it, we're going to get out of it. But I don't want that to just be a slogan or a sentence that sounds good. No, it's quite literal. We need to actually make the time. If we treat this like a hobby, it will stay a hobby. Okay. So we're going to go over a few things. I'm going to keep this tight and short, my version of short. It's probably going to be about half an hour. I don't even know how long it's been because it won't show me on the screen. There is going to be an exercise that everybody's going to have to do for today at the end of this. So it is technically a challenge. It's just another type of challenge. I don't think that we can move forward as a group until we get it straight if we really want to be here, if it's the right timing in our lives, if it's in alignment with us, and if we're willing to make the time. Okay? It's taking a lot of time from the back end, from all of the organizers and the people that are tracking and that are going through everything. And we love it. We're here for you guys because we want everybody to grow. I want to grow. Caitlin wants to grow. Hanan wants to grow. Everybody wants to grow, right? So we're all here for each other. But energetically, there is a divide that's happening, right? Because there is a group of people that are, and this is not being mean to anybody. I'm not singling anybody out or making anybody feel bad at all. This is just what's happening energetically, right? We all need to be able to go together. Is that there are some that are definitely ready to move forward. There are some that are definitely falling way behind. There's a group that are right in the middle. Now, I know with a lot of people, we're not going to always be able to get everybody on the same course. But the thing is, and we can see through some of the messaging and some of the words when people are messaging, that there's still a feeling of this being like the thing that comes last at the end of the day. Okay? Now, that's not for all of you. So please don't think that it is. And even if that is you, it's totally fine. Again, this is just a reflection for you to be able to see, become aware, and then choose if you want to change it. If you want to change it, of course, there will be support for you, right? If you don't want to change it, that's totally fine. You're still supported as well too. It just means that maybe this isn't the right time for you. So as a collective, as a group, we have to decide if going forward with this sprint is something that we're all really still dedicated to, and if it is actually what we want. Because when you show up and you say that it's what you want, and we've already laid out the ground rules like ahead of time in terms of like the time that we're going to have to schedule in and actually treating it like a business, right? Then we're going to hold you to that. We're going to hold you accountable because that is our job. That is our role, right? We're all doing it for each other. And again, if it's not the right time for something like this for the group, maybe we got the feeling wrong. Maybe we got the timing wrong. Maybe it's just not the right timing. So if we decide that as a collective, then we'll just come back to it another time, right? But I don't feel that's the case. I feel like everybody is ready, and I feel like everybody is committed. I feel like everybody is dedicated. There's just this little thing that is needs a tiny bit of reframing, okay, in terms of time. We need a little bit of reframing around it, because there's a sense of, and not for everybody, but there's a sense of this being something that you have to get done in your day, right? I have to do this. I have to do that before 12. I have to get this in for this day. I have to, right? When you feel the actual essence of that, it is for somebody else. And this is for you. This is for your business. This is for all of our own businesses, mine included, right? So the reframing has to come from, instead of it being something that you have to do, it's something that you want to get done, right? You make the time because you want it for your future. If you guys were going back to school, or if I was going back to school and we were learning a new skill, maybe the course was a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, I don't know. Every school is a little bit different depending on the course. What I know for sure is if we're going back to school, we're going to be in a classroom, if it's part-time, 4 hours a day, if it's full-time, 8 hours a day, for at least 3 days a week, if not a lot of them are 5. And people show up. People are there to learn. People give it the time, and they still go home and do their homework after. Right? Again, this is not me trying to come down on you or anyone in specific. This is totally out of love, right? Because it's time to wake up. If this is really something that you want, like you're saying it is, and like your heart is banging on your chest telling you it is, then there needs to be some reframing in the thought process, but also in the schedule and in the time that you're devoting, not just to the sprint, but to your business in general, right? Because when this sprint is over and goes away, your business is still going to require you to be there. And that's probably one of the things that's kind of annoying about this industry, I guess, is when people try and sell it as like, yeah, you only have to hop on for 20 minutes a day and the rest is automated. You know, like, yes, this business takes a lot less time than the majority of other ones, trust me. And if you've been around and if you've checked out other businesses, you know that that is true, right? We have the jackpot here. Out of businesses, we definitely have the jackpot. We don't have to do our landing pages. We don't have to do our sales webinars. We don't have to do our coaching calls, our sales calls, closing calls. We don't have to figure out how to make a training platform for all of the people that are going to come through our business. So we don't even have to like fully take all of our time to train them. We can send them into the platform. Look at how much stuff has been done for us, you guys. In terms of a business, this is literally as good as it gets. Not even kidding you. It's as good as it gets. However, it still takes the time up front to learn it, to be messaging back and forth with people. Some of you may not be there yet. That's okay. We're getting there as well too. It still takes the time, right? Everything does. Anything worth having takes the time. It does. That's the truth. I'm sorry. So if somebody sold you the dream that when you came here, you could do this business with half an hour a day, they were inaccurate. And I really hope that's not what they said to you. Because although once it's set up and running successfully, I suppose you probably could get away with a half an hour bare minimum. I would never suggest that to somebody, but it's probably possible once everything's set up and running successfully and the commissions are coming in. I mean, it's probably possible, but again, I'm not suggesting that, right? What we do is so very special. It's something that you want to get obsessed about. And the only way you get obsessed about it is when you learn more about it. It's in that process. It's in the confidence. It's in the product knowledge. It's in the training knowledge. It's in the industry knowledge. And that's not all going to happen overnight, nor does anybody expect it to. It's a little step every day, right? So I want to point out something about this sprint, because I can't remember who, there was this book and I can't remember exactly who, Darren Hardy maybe? No, I can't remember exactly who it was, but inside of the book, it talks about our value, right? The value we're placing on something. So as an example, if somebody said to you, if somebody sat in front of you and opened a briefcase that had $100,000 cash inside of it, excuse me, and they said to you, for the next 90 days, I want you to find 2 hours out of your day. I don't care what hour it is, or if it's all broken up into 15-minute chunks, but I want you to find 2 hours a day over the next 90 days to show up and do this task and complete it every single day consistently for 90 days. And this 100 grand is yours. No strings attached, no commitment. Doesn't matter what the results are. That's all you have to do. You'd find 2 hours a day really, really freaking quickly. Let me tell you. And you know it. Your heart knows it. Honestly, if you have to sit with that example after again and remind yourself of it, and what $100,000, that's 33 grand a month to show up for 2 hours, regardless of what your results are. And I'm not saying this to like make anybody money hungry or make it all about money, but I'm saying that as a society, generally, people are driven by money because it is also one of the areas of largest stress. So naturally, they kind of go hand in hand. People think that everything will be alleviated with the money, right? So we've become money driven. But that example is showing you that if you place a high enough value on what you're going to get out of it at the end, then you will do whatever it takes. You guys, do you get that? You'll do whatever it takes. Sorry. That broke my train of thought. Just give me a second. I'm going to turn it off so it doesn't happen again. I hate having my train of thought broken. Okay. Center it. Yeah, it's the value that we place on it. That's it. It's as simple as that, right? So in terms of, let's just stick with this 90-day challenge for right now, but in terms of this 90-day challenge, but also the business, regardless of this 90-day challenge, you have to really be so laser focused on where it is you want to be, where it is you want to go, what it is you want to do, the reason why you want to do it. You have to be laser focused on that, right? You have to know that it's at the end. You have to know that this equals that. You have to believe that this is what is at the end of the journey. Whether or not you've seen evidence of it in the middle or not, for however long you've been here, right? You have to believe with all of your heart that you can do it and that these actions will get you to this. And this is what needs to drive you every day. And you need to place that value, that importance, that sense of urgency every day, right? And that's why the exercise that I show everybody with the Excel spreadsheet, some of you may have seen it, some of you may not. Don't worry, you're going to get a copy today if you haven't seen it, right? That's going to be our exercise for today. We're going to get it straight today. We're going to get it clear today if you really want to be here, okay? Everybody's going to do a copy, everybody, and then you're going to submit it. So that Excel spreadsheet, that's why it's so important, especially in the beginning, you guys, especially when you've still got crazy schedules, right? Because that, if I didn't have that thing, honestly, I don't know how I would have gotten through, really, honestly. Like finding those pockets of time is so important. So anyways, we'll come back to that after, but I feel like I was just going to say something. Damn it. It was that phone call. Okay, give me 1 second. I wrote a few things down, so I just really want to make sure. Okay, so I'll talk about that in a second. Oh, look at that. It's so funny, right? Like I got inside of this really good meditative space and I wrote out like 4 or 5 pages, and then I was like, oh, I can like look on it. But it's like when you get in the flow, you've already said everything that you want to say. Number one, because I specifically asked for it and invited it before I even started this video. But number two, because we set our intention and we set we got ourselves into state when we started, right? So the message just flows through. So I hit on pretty much everything that I really wanted to. So basically, what I was going to say is when you see the Excel spreadsheet, okay, and I'm going to do a really quick screen share, a really quick screen share to show you guys exactly how I do it. I want you guys to print it out and do it in color. Use your kids' crayons, use your kids' markers, doesn't matter. I want it to be done by hand, okay? If you don't have a printer, don't use that as an excuse. Get a piece of paper. You can draw out the box. You can draw out the days, and you can make little sections for each one. You'll see exactly what it looks like in 1 second, okay? I'll pull it up in 1 second. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna pull it up now. That's what we're gonna do next. So I don't know if my screen will get kind of choppy. Sometimes when I'm sharing, it does go a little bit choppy. So let's put that down and that down and this down. So many things. Where's my Excel? Oh, I should have had this open from the beginning. Sorry, guys. There it is. Oh no, I know a better way to get into it. Where did I put it? If I were smart, I would have had it all open already. Sorry, guys. Bear with me. I don't even know how long this video has been. I can't see. But I'll try and wrap it up really quickly, okay? I know everybody's got busy lives. Trust me, this step is important. Because if we can light our soul on fire, oh my gosh, this is so slow. If we can ignite that passion and light that soul on fire where nothing is going to stand in our way, I promise you, you will find the time, okay? I had twin at the time, what were they? 1.5-year-olds when I started. I had twin 1.5-year-olds. They grew into 2.5-year-olds, 3.5-year-olds. I was working, right? I was watching them all day long from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then at 4 p.m. I would go to work at a restaurant or a bar, bartending and serving until 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, you guys. And then I'd be back up with my kids at 7. And then I started trying to find time. So I got up at 6, an hour before them. I was literally sleeping for 4 hours. Okay. Now I'm not suggesting that everybody has to do that. Everybody's way is going to be different, but to me, it was worth it. I was willing to do it for a short period of time to be able to free myself to live the life that I wanted for the rest of my life. And I could sleep in whenever I wanted. Not that I even do now, because that's how important it is to me. Right. But the point is that I was willing to do in the short term, whatever it freaking took, even though it was uncomfortable and I didn't always like it and it felt challenging. And every day I maybe had a cry sometimes and that I had to clear it out again, but I kept going. I kept going and did whatever it took, as have all of the other leaders, right? I've heard people say, write to me. Well, that's easy for you to say. You have way more time. That's easy for you to say now. You have more money. It wasn't always like that, you guys. It was created, and I had to do, and all the other people had to do, the crappy feeling stuff, you know, not trying to say that it's sucky, crappy stuff, but in the moment it can feel sucky sometimes, but it's still, it's, you do what it takes because you want it that bad, right? I'm serious, you guys. That's why such a small percentage of the population won't do it. Or no, wait, reverse that. That's why such a large percentage of the population won't do what it takes, because they can't get past that point to inspire themselves enough to just go, to just drive, right? To just run with it for such a short period of time. I wish I could, like, I wish I had some way to express how short it is in the short term, you know, and how wonderful it is when it finally transitions. It's worth it. It's worth every lost shower. It's worth every lost hour of sleep. It's worth every moment of crazy tears and feeling like you're going to break down and can't go any further. Okay, enough blah, blah. Here we go. So this is the Excel spreadsheet. Okay, so basically it's broken up. Now everybody wakes up different times. Everybody goes to bed at different times. You can make yours however you want. This is basically just how I've done it. Okay, so the idea is, if you haven't seen me do this video before, you basically want to block out, let's say, your work schedule. Okay, so I know, let's just see here. So I know some people will be, maybe you're 9 to 6 on Monday. Maybe on Tuesday you're working a night shift. Maybe on Wednesday you're on another night shift. Maybe on Thursday you have the day off. Maybe on Friday you start early because you want to leave early. Okay. And then maybe you're a weekend worker, like a lot of us were. All right, so everybody's, again, this is not accurate. Yours is going to be totally different from the next person, from the next person, from the next person, okay? But you want to understand the red, this is where you're working, okay? These are, I mean, it's non-negotiable. You can't get out of it, right? Your boss is expecting you to be there. This is how you get paid. This is actually a really great thing because it's paying you to be able to do your business. It's the stepping stone to be able to take the next step and make the changes, right? So you want to put in red anything that's like your work, right? Even if you, like, let's say you're working, like even being at home with your kids, right? Like, trust me, I get it. I was at home with my kids, so I know how hard it is to work when the kids are around. So you can still block that off as well too. Maybe you want to block off different colors, right? And you can get creative however you want to organize yourself, okay? Basically, there's going to be a couple of different groups of people. There's going to be a group of people that looks and all of a sudden is like, holy shit, I actually have quite a bit of time left outside of work, right? That I technically could, without all the other stuff, without all of the kickboxing or yoga or friends parties or volunteer stuff or all of the choice stuff, okay? That's the important word, is that stuff that you're choosing. This stuff is non-negotiable. The stuff that you're choosing, save that for later. Just do the non-negotiable for now, okay? So that first group of people is going to see either, holy shit, I do actually have quite a bit of time left if I choose to make it the next priority after my work. Did you catch that? Because that's important, okay? Then there's going to be another group of people who it's going to look far more red than this, right? And that's okay too. Then they still notice that there are, like, let's say, I don't know, let's say we'll just add a few more blocks of red in here. And I'm just totally picking random stuff that looks good to my eye. Okay. Okay, so then we see, there we go. Then we see that, okay, well, there's a lot more red than the other person, but you know what? Before I add in any of the choice stuff, I still do have some chunks of time in here. I could do in here. I could do, make sure that it's, you know, right here, or I could do it in the morning before I leave here, or I could, you know, you see where you can put it. That's the power of this exercise, is you see it in the bird's eye view of where you can put it, okay? Then there's going to be another group of people that on top of the kids and on top of the working, your schedule might even be like, you know, like there's going to be some people who have crazy reds, and I get it because it was me, you guys. There is a way for you guys too, okay? So here we go. We're going to do even more, okay? Now, the key for people like this is going to be finding creative ways within this red space to make time. Okay? I want you to really, really get that. So here's an example. If in this space right here, you're going to, I don't know. I just totally went blank. Sorry, I heard the leaf blower and the lawn guy outside. Doesn't take me much to get sidetracked, does it? Okay, what was I gonna say? All right, maybe here, like your kid has hockey practice, okay? I don't know. Let's make this a different color. Okay, there's hockey practice here. There's hockey practice here. I know hockey practice is not that long, but again, I'm just letting my fingers flow wherever they want to. So you can get the idea. There's these pieces inside of here. Your kids have sports, okay? Maybe if you have kids. It's about planning ahead the night before, knowing what your exercise is or what you want to get done on the next day, taking it with you. Take your headphones if you need them, okay? Take a notebook if you need it. Print out the paper of questions the night before if you need it. If you don't have a printer, write them, handwrite them. Prepare yourself for this space because you've put it in there. When you look at your week ahead like this and you plan on a scale like this, you will be prepared in those pockets of time, okay? So again, you can do it when you're at your kids' sports. You can listen while you're driving. You can involve your kids. You can ask them to get the voice recorder out, right? Hey, can you read me question 1? They'll read you question 1. Hey, can you press record on my phone? And then you speak the answer to question 1, okay? Is that a little more time consuming? Then you'll have to write it down on paper? Yes, but again, it's whatever it takes, right? Involve your kids. Ask their opinion, right? Get them set up with an activity. Sit beside them. And they'll feel like you're doing their activity with them, even though you're doing your own. They're doing theirs. They're maybe coloring or whatever. You're doing your own, okay? If you're with friends and family, include your friends and family, right? I've got friends that I'm like, hey, you know what? I really want to see you and I really want to go out for lunch with you, but here's what I got to do, you know? I've got a couple questions, and you don't even have to ask them to do all of them with you. If you want to break up and just do 3 or 4 and then do 3 or 4 when you get home later, just do something. Get little pieces, like chew off little chunks at a time, right? You can literally, when you're at lunch with your friends, say, you can turn it into a joke, right? You can be like, okay, I really want to see you, but I have these 4 questions that need to get done. Like it's a non-negotiable. And if I go out to lunch, I have to do them at lunchtime and I don't want to be distracted by you. So I need your help to do them. So that's the deal. If I go out to lunch with you, you have to help me with these 4 questions, right? Either that or you have to sit there in silence while I answer them until they're done and then we can eat. I'm not kidding you guys. That's like the level of laser sharp focus that it takes, okay? And not for the rest of your life, just to get everything moving and to get you to where you want to go. This is what it takes, okay? So there's a couple of examples in there about exchanging time, basically. Like, how can I be here and doing something else at the same time? Like, I was talking with Caitlin actually, like when it came up, and we were talking about, you know, back in the day, like in the beginning stages, and I literally remember not taking a shower for 3 days, you know, if it meant having that 20 minutes to answer back to people. I remember being at work in the middle of a lunch rush, middle of a dinner rush, serving like 75 to 95 people just in my section alone, being jam-packed and like sneaking away to the washroom for 3 to 5 quick minutes to just send out some links to the live webinar that we had at that time, because I knew that there was people in my inbox waiting from that day that I hadn't gotten to yet. Like, if you can find those small 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 15 minutes there, half an hour there, if you can have that laser sharp focus, I promise you, your business is going to explode, right? Explode. So, okay, I think, what else did I want to say? I think that's pretty much it. The reframing from having to do this to wanting to do this is going to be very important, you guys. Very important. So, number one, if it's feeling like you have to get it done, you have to have it in, you have to meet the deadline, you have to, then you need to sit with yourself and figure out if this is actually the right time for you and this is what you want. Because if it is, then you have to reframe it into, this is, I want to do this. I want to get it done. I want to contribute my part. I want to know what my answers are. I want to see what I come up with. I want to see how good I can do. Okay? That is the level of passion. So the reframing of that, then understanding that the value we place on it, I think I'm done with this one here, so let me put this. Then understanding that the value we place on something, the urgency we place on something, like the briefcase example, if somebody gave you $100,000 to make 2 hours show up out of your day just for the next 90 days, regardless of what result you got, whether it was right or wrong or what the answer was, or if anybody joined or anything at all, you would make 2 hours. So figuring out exactly how you need to translate that into your business and add that level of importance. If you're going to put that level of importance on $100,000 because it's guaranteed at the end, that's the only difference, is you're not seeing a guarantee right now. So there's a level of belief that the money won't be there at the end, or that it's, I'll get to it when I have time, or my life's just crazy right now, you know? And again, that's totally fine. If it's not the right time, it's not, nobody's going to be hard on you for that. You've already seen people inside of the group saying, I'm sorry, it's not a priority for me right now. And again, that's nothing against them. That's perfect. They're honoring exactly what their soul is telling them to do. It's telling them that it's just not the right time and they're not in alignment, and that is totally okay. But for everybody else that is saying they want it and they want to be here and they want their business to grow, then the actions need to match the words. And if you need the kick to get there, that is what we're here for. That is what the group is for, right? To keep everybody accountable and to give you that kick when you, at the end of the day, you're like, oh, I've been working so hard lately, I'm just going to do this, or I'm just going to not do anything, and, you know, I deserve it. I've been busy. I this or I that. We make excuses for ourselves, okay? And this is not to say we have to push ourselves from a level of pushing, but it's more like a magnet. It's more like a magnet. Like our dreams are right there, and everything we've ever wanted is right there. And that magnet, it's magnetizing us. It's pulling. I'm going to do it because I can. I'm going to stay up a little later because that's how bad I want it. I'm going to get up a little bit earlier because that's the only space that I have by myself. You know, I'm going to show myself that I can do this. So it's not a push, it's a pull. Allow your dreams to pull you into that creative space, right? If we tell ourselves that we don't have time, we will believe it. If we tell ourselves that our lives are just too crazy, we will believe it. If we decide to get creative inside of our already busy lives, right? I promise you, your ideas are probably going to blossom that much more uniquely and beautifully anyways, because it's when you're inside of that flow, that natural flow, and you take it with you and you do it on the go with your life, with your kids, with your family, with all of that, that your best ideas are going to pop out of those moments. Because I can assure you that a lot of times what's happening for everybody that these exercises are taking an extremely long time for is that you're in your head. Okay. Now I know some of them are an hour, some of them are an hour and a half. I get it. there are ones that should not, I don't want to say should, but if they're taking like extended, like 5, 6, 7, 8 hours of your time, you know, yes, it's important to go deep, but you're probably blocking yourself because you're coming up with everything from here. You're coming from the mind, and you're stopping yourself to try and get the answers perfect, to try and get it right the first time, to try and figure out who you are and what your message is. Doesn't mean that has to be for the whole life of your business, right? It can be one word. It can be, I stand for happiness right now. You know what I mean? And then build off of that happiness. What does that happiness look like? What does it feel like in this person? How do I want this person to talk to me for our avatar? Who do I want to work with? Do I want them to be cheerful? Do I want them to be lovely? Do I want them to sing? Do I want them to not complain? Do I want them to put in the work? Right? Like, I would assume that if it's taking you really, really, really long periods of time, then you're actually stopping your flow by trying to have the perfect answer. Okay? You don't have to have it perfect. This is just for you, and it will evolve as you go. And you can come back to it and do it again and again and again, you know, a week down the line, a month down the line, every 5 months, if you decide that that exercise is good for you, every 5 months, right? So I think that's probably good for today, because I don't want to lay it on super thick in case I haven't already. Again, set out of love. You guys know that we love you, right? Like, this is why we're here. We know that you guys are the leaders, right? That's why we're taking the extra time. That's why we're making sure that anybody who really wants it, they say they want it, they show up. Clearly, you've been here for going on a month, right? So I say that a lot, don't I? Right? Right? Do I say that a lot after everything? I just heard it and it was like, right? 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 Oh God. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Give me 1 second. So our challenge for today is, instead of doing anything more with copywriting, we're all going to take this time right now to look in the comment section below, okay? The very first thing that's going to be there, so you may have to hit view previous comments, view previous comments, view previous comments if somebody else has put a comment in there. So go to the very top of the comment section. There's going to be a document that's in there. And that document is going to be the Excel spreadsheet that you saw right here. It's going to look like this. It's not going to have any color on it, okay? It's going to be a blank one like that. You're going to go in, you're going to print it off if you have a printer. If you do not have a printer, you're going to get a blank piece of paper or a lined piece of paper or a construction paper, whatever you have. I use my construction paper all the time, my kids. Ask Caitlin, she knows it's true. It's colorful stuff I write on all the time. Make the graph. It's not hard. It's a box it all in. Monday, do your times. If you don't wake up at 5, that's fine. Not everybody wakes up at 5. Get like markers or crayons from your kids, some type of coloring system, some type of coding. You'll choose all of your own colors, however you like it, whatever feels good in your soul. You do not have to do this every week if you don't want to, okay? But you do have to do it today. This is the exercise today. I want everybody to see it on paper with their own eyes, feel it in their soul, see what it looks like from a bird's eye view, and where they can get creative along the way. Okay, if everything is really red, because I know there's going to be a few of you in here that's probably going to be really red. For the most part, it's not. And remember, we're putting our business in before the extra stuff. Before, okay? It's not going to be like second to last or last anymore. If that's what was happening before, it's going to be work, obviously family, business. Everything else comes after, right? Unless you want to get creative and take your work with you when you go out with friends, do it over wine while you're sitting at the table, because that's it, right? Have fun with it. Doesn't have to be so serious. Okay, so God, I lose track of what I was saying so easily. I'm going to drop that in the comment section. Everybody print it. If you don't print it, make your own, fill it out, get real with yourself, be very honest. Don't just fill in stuff because you see a lot more space and you're like, oh, I've got to be busier than that. I've got this here, I've got that here. Don't lie to yourself, okay? The only one you're going to be trying to fool if you do that is yourself. So don't do that. And then once you're all finished with your graphs, then post it inside of the comment section of this video, this post inside of Facebook, okay? I think that's it. I'm going to end it with, we love you all so very much. You guys are wonderful. I really, really, really know in my heart, and I know Caitlin knows because we've talked about it, this group of people that are still in here, that haven't left, that haven't never started, that whatever, this group of people right here, you are the leaders. You are the leaders. Even if you just started, even if you just set up your business page and you don't feel like you can be that person yet, or that you're not there yet, or that you don't have results yet, or whatever, it doesn't matter. You're here right now out of 1,300 people inside of that Facebook group. That says something about you. That says something about your heart. That says something about your drive, about what you want and how bad you want it. Okay? So use the things that we tend to use as excuses as our reasons. Okay? There was a point in my life, and I'll just give you this little piece before I log off. There was a point in my life not that long ago that I had somebody very close to me in the hospital for an extended period of time. And yes, I know that you have to be there to support your family or to support your kids or to do all of these things because that's what we love. We love our family. So I'm not suggesting giving them up and pushing them to the side. No. Use them as the reason why you want to do this, as the reason why that magnet is going to pull you and you're not going to let anything stand in your way. Use them as the reason why, right? Don't give yourself excuses. And I'm not saying that everybody is. I'm just saying, be aware and notice if you're being too nice on yourself. Sometimes we need to be a little tougher with ourselves. Tough love, right? There it is again, right? Is that as annoying to everybody else as it is to me? Okay, time to end this now. I love and appreciate every single one of you. Caitlin loves and appreciates every single one of you. Hanan appreciates and loves every single one of you. And we're so, so, so happy to be here doing this for everybody. And this group of people that we have here is lovely. You guys are seriously lovely. Everything that you share inside those chats, all of the love, all of the support, all of the messages, all of the teaching, the learning, the sharing, the growing, the evolving, it's wonderful. And we would not want to be here with any other group than you guys. So let's get this clear. Before we can move forward with everything else, we have to get our schedule clear. We have to get our time clear. And if you guys are going to commit, and if we're going to keep doing this Rise Sprint for the next, we still have week 4, and then we've got 2 months after that. If we're going to keep doing this, then it needs to be bumped up on the list of priorities. Because right now, it's on the top of our priority list to be here for you guys. But we do also have a whole bunch of other things on the go as well too, and in the works, and building different stuff for everybody, right? So there's a lot of things that we could be doing with this time. So we're dedicating to you, and you guys need to be dedicating back, not just back to us, but to yourselves and to the other people that are inside of this group. So let's really supercharge it and make sure that we're coming from that place of keeping the gas pedal on, right? Right? Somebody stop me. Okay, love you guys. Have fun with this exercise. Be honest, be real with yourselves, and we'll chat real soon. Any questions, anything, you know where to drop them. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.